Alright, this isn't the video I planned on releasing today, but I'm supposed to post 2 videos today. And my Malvika guide is taking a little bit longer, which should be out tomorrow though, hopefully. I did see a comment though that pissed me. I was gonna just like delay the video, but I saw a comment that pissed me off that said, you have 4 hours left. You can post a 1-minute video talking about why you changed the PFP. Even someone like you can do that. And I felt so offended, so here we are. Greetings everyone, Flip here, and today we're going to be a rare unscripted Flip video where I'm just going to be discussing why I quit making Genshin courts and why I'm not sure if I want to continue making them for this year. And also, something I'm surprised not a lot of people have pointed out, I stopped saying hello. Like, my intro is no longer hello there, Flip here. It's just greetings there now, or doing whatever day it is. People doubt the fact that I read every single comment, but I really do try to. And one comment I got recently was that people said they hated me saying hello because it made me sound like a cringe teenager. And then I didn't like give much thought to the comment. I just showed it to my Discord server expecting them to laugh at it, but they agreed it was cringe. And then there was 2 other comments just saying, bro, cut it out with the hello. I'm like, okay, sure. But yeah, it's a super minor thing I thought I would address here, as I'll never get a chance to say it in the video, so if anyone else for the future, you can just tell them this. But back on topic, Genshin courts and why I no longer do them or really plan to. I guess if there's new viewers, I should explain what Genshin courts are and why I decided to like make them. Basically, a few years ago, how do I even explain what they are? Basically, Genshin content creators, some of them have bad takes, and I wanted to use the Genshin court as a way to like try and correct misinformation directly. But I didn't want to be mean about it or anything, as it's a game, it's not that deep. So I decided to like set up this series where I would like pick apart 3 videos a content creator makes and point out like the misinformation or just incorrect things in the video. Also, all of them are still up on my channel in a playlist if you ever want to go and watch them. I wouldn't recommend watching the earlier ones, as I just came off as very rude, as I wasn't as good of a YouTuber or content creator back then. I was also like an edgy 15-year-old. God, I was 15 when I first started making Genshin content. That's crazy. But yeah, go watch the more recent ones. I think they still do hold up today as like a learning thing and also just being generally funny. It was the thing everyone in the Genshin theory crafting community knew me for. It would just be picking apart people's takes. And even to this day, people still refer to me as the Genshin court guy, which I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or an insult. I don't want it to be the only thing I'm known for, okay? But yeah, they were really fun to make for me personally, and also a lot of you seemed to enjoy it. And it was kind of like an event in a way, seeing people react to my Genshin courts and like the takes I made or who was going to be next. So why did I stop doing them? Alright, let's explain. I guess the first thing I'll address, they kind of tie into each other, but it's the fact that there just aren't that many Genshin content creators that make takes. I don't really watch that many content creators besides my friends to see what they're up to. So a lot of the time a Genshin court was a viewer request. It was someone telling me I should make a Genshin court in this person or this person, and then I would look into them myself. And I don't think I ever said this publicly, but I did have a criteria for who I would court. The first thing for me is that I'd only like record a take that's been in the last 3 months. Anything further than 3 months I just thought was too far away and would be irrelevant. Even my own Genshin takes change quite frequently, or something happens in the meta that changes how good these units are. So for me, I think it would be kind of evil if I just took something they said from like 6 months ago that doesn't apply today, obviously. The next thing is I never wanted to court someone who was like, I only wanted to court people that acted as a source of information, which is why I never made a Genshin court on someone like Mogati, because I don't think anyone was really trying to use him as an information source. And then the last thing is I only wanted to make a Genshin court on someone if it was multiple bad takes and not just one. That's why I tried to hold the standard of at least 3 pieces of evidence or 2 pieces of really long evidence like a stream. Everyone posts a stinker once in a while, it just happens. So for me, again, it would have to be someone that repeatedly just was spewing bullshit. And with those standards, it was actually very hard to try and find someone. So in the beginning, when I first started making Genshin courts, I was just pumping them out left and right. But then after a while, they slowed down a lot because there just wasn't that many content creators. In fact, it became bad because the people with bad takes were just the same people over and over again. And I didn't want to just make like 25 different Sekapoko Genshin courts. Another standard I held is that I didn't want to make a Genshin court on someone who was a smaller channel than me, as that would just be punching down and I would find that cringe. So yeah, that's the first thing. There just wasn't that many Genshin content creators that fit my standards. The next thing I want to address, I guess, is the fact that the quality of information in the Genshin community has just improved. Pre-Sumeru, people people just didn't understand how the game worked at all, and it was a lot more complex on who the strongest characters actually were. But as the game progressed, like theory crafting and meta content was just more streamlined, so more people had access to it. So a lot more people just knew how these characters and reactions worked, which I do think creators like Zjef and Tenten played a massive part in. Genshin in general has just become a lot more simpler of a game. In Sumeru, the meta was just to use Hyperbloom, and now with Fontaine and Natlin, you just have very clear best and slow artifact sets, and characters will have very defined teams, so even idiots know what the best teams in the game are or how to build certain characters. The best teams in the game are also now just the simplest teams to play in the game, and for anything that was actually complicated, people would just like not talk about them as there was no need to. So there was just a lot less people to court because people just had the information on hand. Also, the theory crafting scene is a lot bigger than what it used to be, so if someone does care about being correct, they can very easily just go and ask a theory crafter how certain things work. And don't get me wrong, there are still certain Genshin content creators I can make a Genshin court on, but there are other reasons why I stopped doing them. So as we know, Genshin courts have just become a lot less frequent because there's basically less content creators to cover, and in that space people now either know me for my Furina videos or for my other pre-release videos, and that has pretty much become the dominant content on my channel. I made a community post yesterday and half my current audience doesn't even know what Genshin court is. There was multiple times over like the past 10 months I planned on making more Genshin courts, but I either just had to make a pre-release video instead, or some other factors occurred that made me not want to make them. There was a time Genshin courts were supposed to make a grand comeback around Natlin. For context, the creator misunderstood how the burning reaction worked and said that burning gave more pyro application for Mualani teams, which isn't true. And long story short, I made a video in response to that claim, basically just saying it was untrue, and there was some other stuff, but it's just too long. But the thing that like made me feel weird is that after I posted the video, people went to like attack the creator. When I started making a lot of Genshin courts, I was actually a relatively smaller channel. I had around like 5, maybe even less than 5,000 subscribers. So whenever I did post a Genshin court, I doubt it would even like make it to the creator. But now in a way, it's kind of like I fostered enough people to actually make noise when I do talk about someone. And in the video, I myself, I don't think I really was that hostile. I was mostly just making jokes, but people still went to like attack the creator anyways in the comments and stuff. And also there was like people saying they're going to unsubscribe from the person, they're never going to watch their videos again. It got so bad that the creator took the video down themselves, and I was just like, it just wasn't really a good feeling at all, knowing I could negatively affect someone's channel, and that's not what I want to make Genshin courts for. When I call out other creators, it's not for like, hey, this creator is bad, don't watch them. It's like, hey, this creator has certain biases that you should take into account when watching them. Not that they're an actual bad person that doesn't deserve their audience or something. And that was the first thing that made me lose a lot of motivation, because I was like, okay, if I'm actually going to impact people's channels, I want to do it in a better way. And there was a second incident to where I do have friends in the Genshin space that are also creators, and quite a few people have asked me to make a video about said creator, and since this guy is like one of my best friends, I decided to message him about it, like, hey, I'm gonna make a Genshin court on you. But then when the time came for me to actually like go through and fully commit to the court, I don't remember exactly what they said, but they said they basically just wouldn't be comfortable with me making it, just because of the backlash that they may face from it. And I haven't really talked to anyone I made a Genshin court on, or I've never really told someone I was going to make a Genshin court on them, so I've never really just considered how they felt about it. But hearing one of my best friends say that they'd be very nervous about making videos if I posted a Genshin court just didn't, it felt bad. And from there, I haven't really found the motivation to make another Genshin court. I've written up some drafts, but I've never really like fully committed to one in a while, and I don't really know if I ever am going to again, because despite the persona I do put on in like Genshin courts and in my regular videos, I don't want to be the cause of someone's distress. That just isn't a good feeling. I make videos for fun. I don't really want to like put people down, if that makes sense. I don't have to explain it. And I've always tried to rationalize that courts are important because they help the community fight misinformation. But as I've said before, the quality of information in the community right now is very good, and I don't expect Genshin to make any more complex features. Characters just keep getting simpler and more brain dead. Team building is also very simple, so it's just very hard to like for there to be actual misinformation that needs to be addressed. And most of the creators I can think of that do like have bad rhetoric, or creators I've already made Genshin courts on, I can't just keep milking Vars and Seka. It doesn't feel good. But yeah, this has already gone on longer than I expected it to be. Yap session. If there's going to be more Genshin courts or not, I can't really tell you. Even though at least it's obvious to me and a lot of other people that I'm playing up a persona and you shouldn't attack creators over Genshin opinions, the fact that it can lead to someone taking their video down or people just feeling nervous if I make a Genshin court on them, it's not a good feeling. Again, I don't really plan for this to be the end of Genshin courts. I still want to make more. It's just that I don't know how. I do think misinformation should be called called out, but at the same time, I also want it to be done in a fun way that doesn't negatively hurt the creator. When I figure that out, maybe we can get some more, but as of now, not really. But with that, I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace.